And we're off to the races, like I normally say. Super excited for another almost famous radio podcast. I have a wonderful guest all the way from Porto, Portugal. I love my people in Portugal. We had Marianne on, and we're gonna have real soon Paula Teles, who does metal. She's fantastic. In this occasion, I have a wonderful, wonderful artist. I mean, this guy's worked in over 15 short films. He's lots of features and several TV shows. My man, he's unbelievable. We're gonna learn all about him. We're gonna have some questions crap that I drafted for him. He has little does he know he's in for a nice ride, right? Without further ado, help me welcome the one and only Mr. Antony Sousa to the show. What
Hello
is
there.
up, my friend?
Thank you so much. You do
Oh
really good
man,
intros.
yeah, I try, I tried, as you notice. I give a shout out to our dear friends. Paula was supposed to be on,
Yeah,
and we, because the hours are so different over there than they are here. I ended up messing
absolutely.
up thinking it was New York, and then it was like 8 hour difference. She just was waiting for me, and it was terrible.
Oh my
But
God.
I made it up for her. Yeah, I told her, don't worry, next time you get to choose from all these hours. And she just said, hold on 1 hour. She goes, thank you so much. And we have so much to talk about. But in this case, I mean, my man, you're a writer, an actor, producer, probably, and you do it all, man. You wear all these different hats, and you're wanted, because in the back it says you're wanted right there, right behind you. You see it?
Yeah, it's from Harry Potter actually.
That's so
uh,
funny, dude. So what's
yeah,
up? It's 8 o'clock at night in Porto,
yeah.
Portugal. What is that like? What time do you go to bed, by the way?
Usually like 2 a.m. or something like that because I'm always writing at night. So
Love
usually
it.
after dinner, if I'm here right now, actually I'm in Guimarães. It's where my family is.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm with my niece, 7-year-old niece, and
Ah.
yeah, and I
You
read
draw a
her a
lot of
bedtime
insp I see
story.
I see
Sorry,
that's
sorry.
where you draw a lot of inspiration from.
Yeah,
You draw
absolutely, man,
inspiration from the
absolutely.
young
The,
ones.
the
Yeah.
imagination is unbelievable on kids, and
Because Go ahead, Anthony.
yeah, no, and I tell her a bedtime story, and then I just go right in my room, and a lot of comes from that imagination. You're right, absolutely.
Because isn't it so that, and I tend to tell a lot of my people how, I used to have a an acting coach, and she used to tell us many years ago, you see, what happened was, when you started off, you had the greatest actors are children, because children they're very honest. Number one, they don't have any restrictions. They have a knowing, their inhibitions aren't quite there. So they're not unapologetically, they're just shameless. You say what you
Absolutely.
want to say, no filters. And as a result, whatever comes to mind, and we're talking about now creatively, they tend to put that out in the forefront. Where as you get older, you're told not to do this, not to do that. Remember, come on, you need to keep your dignity and that sort of thing. We end up kind of sort of getting stuck, in the rut with things like that.
Yeah,
And then you have to untrain yourself once again to almost be that childlike, if you will, in that regard, huh?
absolutely. Because we put on a lot of filters, and I think when you're a kid, you don't have that. You're just having fun, and
That's
I
it.
think when you grow up, you just start to lose that. And it's something that we have to learn a lot to learn with kids and animals as well, because they don't care. They go to a point where if I'm having fun, I'm doing it. If I'm not, it's not good for me. And we stop having that since we start getting older, and we start having pressure on ourselves, and
Yeah.
that changes everything. And I think I mean, I started out as an actor kind of late, like in my 20s already. And I think that
Okay.
came from exactly that experience of being like 18, 19 and thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to be an actor because, you have to know that when you're 3 or 4 years old. And when I was 3 and 4, I didn't know that. So
Mhm.
maybe it's too late now and all of that. And when you're a kid, you don't think about those things. You just do it. You just go
Yeah.
play around. I'm the king now, and you play the prince, and now you play, another character, and I
Beautiful.
play this, and that's the
Well,
beauty of
well
it.
said.
Absolutely.
Well said, Anthony. That's so true. And it's funny because you just touched on. I mean, people need to, at the end of the day, you're playing. That's what they tell you when you start acting in acting school, right? We're gonna go out and play. And it's to put kind of set the tone for the rest of the time you're there. So that's really awesome. So play we shall, right? Let's talk about your early career. You studied both acting, music in Porto, Portugal, right? How did
Exactly.
that how has that dual training um shaped you as a performer?
So when I started out, like I said, I started a little later. And first of all, I did like little workshops on acting and writing mostly. And then I entered this school, this professional school, and I did the acting course. And there was like this pop rock course as well. And I thought like, well, I want to sing. I know how to play guitar. I'm self-taught, and I
Awesome,
felt like,
bro.
let's try it. And I did that. And that actually that's where I met Marianne.
What?
Um,
God, no
yeah,
wonder.
and obviously she was already like an explosion, like she is, like an incredible voice
She's
and
a
all of
big
that.
artist, yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
And
right.
so I was kind of balancing both of them, both of those worlds. And after 3 years of studying that, I figured that maybe I should focus more on acting, because maybe I didn't have enough time for both, at least with the same
Yeah,
kind of focus. And that's what I did. But I still love music, and whenever I can, I play and sing and try to learn a little
love
more
it.
about it.
Now, what were your earlier like, let's talk a little bit about music, shift gears just a tiny bit because I love music too, equally, just like you. I'm self-taught, but I play just enough to play a lot of like some metal bars, and I know like just the basic chords to play Misfits and punk and that sort of thing, punk chords, do it yourself chords, I used to call them when I was a kid. So let's see. What kind of music inspired you earlier on for you to pick up the guitar? Was there somebody in your family that perhaps that was a musician?
No, actually, it was a friend of mine, a good friend of mine in school, in high school, and
Mhm.
he had a guitar, and he was the only kid there that I knew that had a guitar. And I started practicing a little bit with him, and he told me like, "You got a good ear, you could do this. Actually, you're gonna be good at that." And I thought about it, and then at the end of the high school, there was like a Christmas, and my family asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I just said guitar. Everyone was like kind of shocked because I never talked about it, but
Yeah,
that was what was in my mind. And then I got the guitar. I still have that guitar actually. 15 years. I got it like 14 years ago, and
beautiful.
I started just practicing and watching YouTube videos and stuff. And the first song I played was Wonderwall, and then from there it was just me trying to get like new chords and trying to make up my own songs and lyrics. 'Cause I love to write lyrics as well.
Yeah, because you're a
Uh,
writer. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. When I was that was the first stuff that I wrote was lyrics. I started to write like this at night again, like writing poems and stuff like that that could be uh, put into a song. And I just tried to make that. When I was younger, I used to have these videos of me doing like 2 minutes of an original song, just trying it out. I was obviously I was a little, I was maybe too green, but it was cool to have that freedom of trying new stuff, and that helped me to shape my creativity and try to
Sure.
do more things. It was a
I'm
good
hearing you
period of
out,
my
and
life.
more I see a lot of people picking up guitars, and you see more and more creativity outlets, as I like to call it, to be able to showcase how they're feeling inside. Because at the end of the day, a lot of songs, unless they're songs that are, mass produced because you have to, because you sign a contract, I like to
Yeah.
think that most people now are independent and they get to sort of play how they feel, what they feel. This is an outlet, how you let it out through a song. And so, therefore, these songs resonate with people because we all have the same people problems in the world. Yeah,
Exactly. That makes total sense. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you realize when you're more specific about what your own feelings, you reach out more people, because that's
yeah.
when people just relate to you more. It's more, it
More
gets
relatable.
to more
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
What were some of the most valuable lessons that you took away from your professional school experience?
Just witnessing a lot of talent around me. I had a really cool team around me, a class, and I had good teachers as well. And it was just the fact that every day there was a lot of talent around. I would just listen to a new voice and see someone do a monologue, and that inspired me to become better. I had to, up my game, and I just worked harder and harder as I could, because I knew that this was my path. From my first acting class, I knew that that's what was gonna do, and so I just seeing everyone around me kind of really making it happen
Yeah.
made me just push a little further and just harder.
It's infectious, huh? When people are doing it and
Oh
you
yeah,
see it happen in real time, you're like, I can do that too. And it
exactly.
kind of
Yeah,
helps be the catalyst to your, starting whatever it is that you're doing and keeping the dream alive, so to speak, right? Speaking of
absolutely.
dreams, the pipe dream is to come to Hollywood. And you've
Oh
done
yeah.
pretty well up there in and I talk about a little more about that, but you want to come to Hollywood. What American actors inspired you or have inspired or are inspiring actively in the business these days?
Well, I mean, I love so many people that
Or
I
how about
watch,
one or
and
two? Because there's a lot, right? So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
vast out
I mean,
there.
I like what Austin Butler is doing these days. I think
Yeah,
he's an interesting actor. Is different and picking up good choices.
yeah,
Um, I mean, there's really interesting actors like out there, but I mean, from the past, obviously, I always loved like Jack Nicholson and Robert Duvall and all that old
Robert
school,
Duvall.
of actors.
Yeah. Wow. You talked about someone that very few people on this show ever talk about, by the way. Robert
Yeah,
Duvall. And
yeah,
a lot of
because
people
I
see
think
him. Yeah, go ahead.
no, 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 yeah, because I think is one of the greats as well, and maybe because he's on that kind of on the same sort of spectrum of Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. I mean, he's not going to get talked about as much because those two are giants and
Right,
have a
right.
different kind of aura. But I believe that he has as much work
Yeah.
done as those two, for example.
The body of work is unreal. I mean, the one
Absolutely.
movie with who's the latest movie of a few years ago, maybe now, with Robert Downey Jr., where he's like the judge?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy
The
mother
judge.
of God. I mean, both of
Yeah.
those actors together are powerful
Wow.
giants, right? Like you're talking about two fucking monolithic, just the big actors and coming, both of them coming from sort of like the old school of thought, the old school
Yeah.
of acting. And Robert Downey Jr. is a little up there now, but Robert De
Yeah.
Niro for sure was acting during Brando's time, and a lot of people think, "Well, we just yeah, it's the guy from Michael or something from what is it, Scarface or The
Yeah. Yeah.
Godfather, right? He was a Godfather, but the son that lawyer, right? But way before that, he was pretty amazing and so many other body of works that he had done and stuff and whatnot. All right. So how important is it? Now we're talking as actors, right? Because I dabbled in acting myself. How important is it the moment before you set on stage, right? As a stage actor, in any scene, the moment before you walk in, there's something happening always the moment before. As most actors, there are those that school of thought that nothing happens before. You just enter and that's it. But I believe the moment before sets the stage. What do you think?
Well, honestly, I do go through like what I have to say and all of that, like more technically. But I do when it's right before the moment that I get in, I just
Right.
try to enter as if I didn't know what was going to happen. Because if I have the freedom, if I've learned what I have to learn, if I, because on stage you do rehearse a lot,
Yeah.
usually, if you have the opportunity. So I hopefully, well, I'll get in, I'll know how to react, I'll know what to do. So if I go there kind of a little bit free minded, I'm obviously a little conscious about what's going to happen because I know I have to hit that mark and all that, rehearse that. But if I'm free to just go and because I don't know if the other person is going to do it differently that day. I don't know if someone in the audience will say something or do something that will make me react or make us react. If like a prop will fall or something will happen. So
Yeah.
it's good to be just right there. Try to be present as much as I can.
Present as much as you can.
Yeah,
I
and then
like
that
that.
is the goal, I think. When
So
I
you're
can do
saying,
that,
mhm.
yeah,
So what I'm hearing is it's good to understand your role as the actor, but allow whatever happenstance, whatever's going to take place to take place, so that you're not like one track minded, right? Like maybe this is
yeah,
how it's going to go. Because especially with theater, theater is great because each time is unique. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think that's the
fantastic.
beauty of it. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Um, so you've done a variety of stuff, plethora of work on stage and off stage and theater and classical plays and comedies. Which of these forms challenge you the most and why?
uh, it's interesting because really I've started out doing musicals first, and that
Mm,
was already kind of out of my comfort zone because of the singing part. I was around people that were very confident at singing,
sure.
and I was still learning, and I was still kind of trying
Yeah.
to be more comfortable in that zone. So I started out already having that work to do of being out of my comfort zone and just doing anyway. And
Right.
it started that way. And then when I wanted to settle myself as an actor because I was not working currently, I mean regularly as an actor. I had this opportunity of do plays in schools. So in high school you have to read, for example, Memorial do Convento is a book from José Saramago here in
Okay.
Portugal, and
Right.
we would adapt the play and play it out for them so that they would understand the book a little better. And did like 10 of those plays, and I did like over 500 shows of that. And
Wow.
that was very challenging because that audience is like a very specific audience. Like these
Sure.
kids, they didn't care, some of them, and they really, and these days it's a different days. When back in my time when I was like watching a play, even though I was bored or whatever, I wouldn't say it out loud. I would just say to my colleague there, to my friend, and at the end we would
Yeah.
talk about it. We wouldn't do anything because teachers were around and all of that. These days kids don't care really, or at least some of them. And so you go on stage, and sometimes you have a lot of different reactions, and they laugh at the wrong places, and you have to kind of be thick skin on that, just kind of build a system in you that protects you from those situations. And I've learned a lot from that, because I was around more experienced actors at the time. And
Sure.
so I kind of absorbed everything I could from them, not just
Love it.
technically, but with how they would react to those things, and
Hmm.
and listen a lot. It was, they would help me, and they were great. I mean, that actually these days they're great friends of mine. They became
Awesome.
really good friends, and I've worked with them in other projects after that.
Fantastic.
But yeah, that was really challenging. That was different from everything else that I'd done,
Mm.
and it
And
really helped me kind of create this a stronger skin to just to keep going.
it's very important to have to develop strong, like you said, a hard shell, elephant
Yeah.
skin in this business, right?
Oh yeah.
What has been challenging for you? I don't know, Portugal as opposed to the United States, but their systems, as it were, both are systems, um, and maybe at times they coalesce or they come together, because now we tend to be international, universal, everywhere. You people can get actors from all over to come out and work. Um, do you find what have been some of the challenges for you in working in Portugal? Like, is it as I'm sure you heard a lot what happens here.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges going in, auditioning or once you're cast, or does
Right.
that mean you made it? You know what I mean? It's like they keep calling you, or you go right back to square one.
Right.
I mean, how does that work?
No, here in Portugal, I think if you got an audition, you're lucky already.
Wow.
That's the biggest issue for me here in Portugal, is because it's part of the reason why it would be a dream to go to the States, for example, because I know there are way more people, and the odds are always against us. but the opportunity to audition like on a not on a daily basis, maybe, I don't know,
Yeah,
but yeah, currently always having
quite
some
frequently.
opportunity
Yeah.
to show yourself is way more exciting for me than to wait out for one audition, and then if you don't get it, you just don't know where the where the next one is going to come, you know.
Wow.
And that's the problem in Portugal. There's so little things happening,
But
and the
conversely,
ones say yeah.
real quick, conversely, what's the positives if you do land something? I mean, if you get an audition and you land something, it sort of
Yeah,
cements your name a little bit, right? It puts you on the,
yeah,
and yeah, yeah,
it does. It does. I mean, yeah. For example, I did my first commercial like a year, no, not a year ago, like 8 or 9 months ago, and from there,
congrats, brother.
I've done like five more. But
Very
before that, I've auditioned like dozens and dozens of times,
right.
and I'd have a call back here and blah blah blah, but you never get it. And then you do one, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, now you got this one. I didn't get so much better all of a sudden. It just I entered that kind of market, and then they saw me, and all of a sudden, I'm a possibility. So it's a little bit like that, and like you're saying, like once you land
Tricky.
one, you kind of open the door a little bit, but before you do that is tough. You know, it's
There's
very
a
tough.
little crack, and you're just trying to get your toe in there. And once it opens,
Oh
it's
yeah,
the floodgates, hopefully,
yeah,
and you sort of your life sort of takes a turn for the better.
absolutely.
Um, so I mean, I'm hearing you out. Like, I'm thinking about moving there. No, here, so I think over time you got so good at what you did, and then when you did on a audition, or it was it, do you think what I'm trying to get at, do you think it's a casting perhaps? Or are there like can you possibly, is it far-fetched, for you to get in with the right circle, so to speak? People that have known your body of work and say, I know this guy. Let's get him. Or is it like a lottery? Like, you just throw in your hat and see what happens.
It's more like the first, yeah. I mean, there are circles out there, of course, and we know it here. But there's kind of an option if you want to go that road, or if we want to go around, as I usually say. And I'm a little stubborn in that. I usually go around, and I don't really like shortcuts, so I just do it the harder way. I know it's more frustrating, and it demands more of me, and it takes more time, but it's how I prefer, because I'm not very good at that. I mean, when I go to like when I land a job, I go there, and of course I like to have good interactions with people, and I'm there, openly to smile and to have conversations, but I'm there to do my job. It's my
Right.
function.
Right. At the
I
end of
was
the day.
paid to, or I'm going to be paid to do that gig. So that's where I want to do the best I can to serve that story, and that's it. If they need more of me, I'm there. If not, I'm done. I have other things to do. And the people are very good at that. Just they go there and they start speaking and start talking to this person, and and sometimes that happens to me, but that happens like naturally. It's not me initiate I starting that out. I
Yeah.
have, like, for example, I have a really good friend of mine that is an actor. He's a very good actor and a great guy, and he's very good at that. I've seen him, like, goes to a place and everybody just goes around. He starts talking around and people know him. And
The
his
life of the
name is,
party.
yeah, 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 kind of that. And but it's not really me, so I try not to kind of do something that is not uh, really my essence. It's not how I go in those types of things. So I prefer just to do. I have this quote from, I think it's Steve Martin that said it: "Is be so good they can't ignore you." So
Yeah, I
that I
love it.
try to become as best as I can, so it gets to a
Love that.
point where people go like, "Okay, this dude is good, so we need him for this job." I prefer that than just, "Oh, I met this," which is, it's okay, it's fine if you do it in a in a clean way, I guess. But
Sure.
it's not just my type of way of going around.
Anthony, let me ask you this. Do you ever write, and do you ever keep yourself in mind for any of the projects you're writing? Do you write to also purposely and intentionally, with intention, to place yourself in that project at times? Or does sometimes people put themselves into something,
Right.
they write themselves in? Is there a character that you write yourself into occasionally, or has it ever happened?
Well, it did happen, yeah. I mean, the first play I wrote, I was not in the play, so it was an invitation, and I wrote the play for other people, and I saw, and it was awesome. That experience
Yeah.
was great, just to be a writer and go on rehearsal and watch that, and knowing that my part is done. Now it's just me enjoying what
Yeah.
they're going to do
Yeah.
with it.
That's so
That was a
fun.
lot of fun. Yeah, that was awesome. I loved that. And
Tell
then,
me how you felt. Tell me also the feeling of your babies on stage. This is your
yeah,
brainchild. It's
oh
coming to
man,
fruition right before your eyes. Wow, dude,
it
honestly,
was unbelievable. The actors were
magical.
just awesome, and the director of the play as well. I mean, it was really really beautiful. It was a comedy, and then watch the play with other people, the public, and see them laughing and all that. That was magical. I'm not gonna deny that was just like the idea
Otherworldly.
that. Oh yeah, man. Because the idea for me is like there's a blank page, and then from there everything can happen. You can create
Yes.
anything,
Your
and so
creativity at
to
play.
absolutely, and when you start from there, and then all of a sudden there's on stage really good actors playing it out. The stuff that you wrote. That's a dream. That's a
Wow.
dream. So yeah, I did start it that way, but I did write another play that I was, and that one I was in. I had a small part in it, but usually, for camera work, I try to write something, but I prefer to have like a juicy character that is like supporting role, for me, than to have the lead guy.
Get it. Love
I
it.
prefer to do that
Take
when I
kind of the
write.
back seat of the thing rather than being the main cat. I love it, man.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
shows your humbleness there. And that's cool, man. I like that.
Thank you.
In terms of what kind of characters do you like to portray? Do you like being a bad boy per se, the antagonist or like the antagonist or the bad
Right.
guy? Do you like to be sometimes we're talking obviously from a creative standpoint. We like to occasionally play things that it's almost uh contradictory to who you are,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
will. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Do
I
you
love
find
that.
yourself playing those? Yeah.
Absolutely. The further away from me, the more the happier I am playing that character, I guess. Sometimes that means me playing an antagonist, which has happened. Other times, not necessarily an antagonist, but just someone that is so differently, the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they feel, and what kinds of things they would say in their context. I love that, to do rehearsal, to do research on the characters and all that. I love that. I love that. So I don't know. Maybe it's that nature of, if I'm playing, someone closer to me, it might seem easier, but for me, it's harder to do because I'm more self-conscious, and I'm more like,
Right.
well, I'm just being me, which
Yeah.
is something that we have to work on, because sometimes there are characters they have similarities, and we have to use that in our favor. But it is easier to access like this contradiction, this other path
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
someone completely different from you. I
It's a
love that.
challenge, right? It's like
Yeah,
the chase, like you're going after this uh you know sort of character that you're not quite you're not in tune with at the time, and to be able to flesh something like that out, and to prepare for that role is challenging in and of itself, and then to
oh yeah,
actually watch it come to life. How do you prepare for a role, by the way, Anthony, while we're on this topic?
yeah. uh it really depends on the role. Right now, I'm gonna do a play in Porto, for example. It's like an interaction play where people can vote what's going to happen on the play. It's called the jury
Oh, that's so
experience.
cool.
Yeah.
What? All right, explain to me this. Talk about this. From We're novices here, we don't know what's going on. Share the how does this come about? I think it's
Yeah.
just fabulous, if I
Yeah.
imagine it correctly, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Enlighten us,
Can I
man.
just take a second to light up because I'm getting dark here.
Oh,
I'm
I thought it
saying
was because it was getting later and later.
it is, it is, it is. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna get the light.
Do your thing, bro. I gotta drink some more of this coffee. It's really good.
Thank you. Sorry there.
No,
Um,
there you are.
so, oh, it doesn't really work that well.
It's fine.
Okay, okay. Sorry. That came about because this is a play that they're from this company called Fever. They
Okay.
do various shows. One of them is Candlelight, and they do that in several countries. And it's like um, music shows where they
Hmm.
light up candles around, and it's kind of a beautiful set and all of that. In
Love
honor
it.
of great bands. So
Nice.
they're very successful around the world, and they came to Portugal. Candlelight has been a success, and now they want to bring the jury experience, which is a play that happens on courts and is an
Mm.
actual case that was real, and
Okay.
it's an adaptation for the stage, and it's basically just the trial happening, and then at the end of each act, people go to the app and they vote which direction they want, if they want to go for that kind of direction, if they want that direction, and from there we change the script and
It's
we
like
do that
alternate
version, or
endings, almost like an alternate
yeah, yeah,
ending,
yeah, yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah. At the end, and
Wow.
at the end, the audience, is gonna decide if the the person being accused is gonna be guilty or non-guilty, and if it
And
takes
if they're
like
guilty, do
25
they really
minutes.
throw away the key? Do they really get arrested? No. This is
Yeah,
great. This is great. You know, I'm hearing
yeah.
you out. This is really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna play the lawyer, the accusing lawyer, and so for that, it's really interesting because they got us like all the background of the character, and and the real case and all the details of this. So I'm actually feeling like I'm gonna really go on courts and really know about the case, which is very exciting
yeah,
for me.
it's just
Yes,
exciting, dude.
a lot of the homework is done for me, so it's great.
Yeah, in that regard, huh? Yeah, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with this, and we're gonna
Hopefully,
circle back, you and I, and talk about this further along into, eventually we have you
yeah,
back. Or when you come back to LA. I mean, you're gonna come to Hollywood at some point, I
I
think,
hope
and
so.
I hope so too. You have a real distinctive look to you, and I think you could get a lot of parts out here, man. I think you get a lot of
Oh,
work.
yeah, I would hope
And
so.
you're ready. You'll be ready when you're right. It's
Yeah.
it's a matter of being ready, and when the opportunity comes, then there it is. Magic will fill the air. Let's see, what advice would you give the next group of people coming behind you, the youngsters, um
Yeah,
or Portuguese artists for that matter, because you're in
right.
Portugal, who dream of expanding the craft, and maybe even doing exactly what you're doing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not give up, probably, right? Because it takes
right.
seems like it's a lot more harder up there than it is out here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I just think that anyone starting out, it's about the work and not so much about what it looks like, because we live in an era of a lot of social network, which is important. It's part of it. Now you can't deny it. But I believe the main focus should always be starting out your what do you have to offer,
The craft.
and
Mhm.
the craft, work on yourself, and as a person, and then as a consequence as an actor, and I believe that will help you tremendously. And then the biggest thing is to persevere. If you really want it, you're going to keep going, you're going to keep doing it, even if sometimes you're not working and you have to do all the stuff to support yourself. It's just to keep going, because I always believe that some people gave up right, they were just right there, the opportunity was right there at the corner,
So
and
be
they stopped.
tenacious, don't give up, because
Yeah,
it's almost like I like to reference what you just finished saying, and not to interrupt you, but it's
yeah.
like a real estate agent, right? And you're knocking on doors, you go cold, whatever, cold calling, and then you go out there and hit the streets, the different sectors of the street, of the areas, knock on doors, and they tell you, you have no limits, only those you impose upon you. So
Oh yeah.
you say, you know what, that's it, I'm tired. But what if you would have knocked on the next door? And
Oh yeah.
it's all a numbers game, basically. It's what I'm hearing.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really believe in that. I really believe there's something for everyone that really works on themselves, and they believe in themselves, really. There's going to be something for them. If it didn't happen yet, it's because it wasn't the time yet. So you got to keep going. You got to keep and use that time to get better, because there's always space to get better, obviously. So if you do it, well, again, when you said, like you said it before, when the opportunity comes, you're going to be ready. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Um, I find, I find that people, it's tough. Like it's easier said than done,
Oh yeah, sure.
that you're gonna be able to master this whole thing of falling on your face flat and then getting back up. It's a lot harder to get back up, but I also believe that if you work hard and you worked on your craft, and as they say, preparation meets opportunity. I think when
Yeah,
you when the right time comes and you're ready, you're the one that's going to shine the brightest, I think. And then you'll have that opportunity. And opportunities do come our way, I think, from places you least expect, like friends, perhaps. For you have the perfect example of who was it? I mean, so many, but I'm going to take the one because you and I will remember uh, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was, if I understand correctly, he was friends with Nicolas Cage,
yes,
right? Nicholas Coppola. And then you know the story. They needed someone for Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, the very first one. And he said, "Hey, I'll refer you if you like. You should go and audition for this. I think you're great for the part." And as they say, the rest is history. You got the first
absolutely.
one, went on the 21 Jump Street in the 80s, and a lot of string of hits. And
Yeah,
but it started with, I'm sure, them taking classes, being prepared. Nicolas Cage is actually a Coppola, so he did. I think he had kind of already a foot in the door, but then he didn't want like people to say, "Oh, well, you went because you come from a
yeah,
famous
of course.
family." He kind of changed it to Nicolas Cage. But regardless, I mean, I believe that it's fate, man, fate. And
Yeah.
when you keep working at it, you polish, you keep chipping at that rock, eventually water will gush out. So
Oh
there's
yeah.
no stopping, and sky's the limit as to what you can do. It's been a great honor talking to you, man, Anthony. And
My pleasure, man.
uh I just wanted to see if you could take this opportunity to share with us your social media handles. But just before that, how important is it to create your own content, by the way?
Very important because the good side of having all these mechanisms that we have now and these tools and is that now it is possible more than ever to create something out of the blue, and to pick up some friends and just let's go. And just the other
Yeah.
day I did like a short film with a couple of friends of mine, a horror
What?
movie for a festival, and there was this like that.
Um,
I traveled around the country, from the
mhm.
south to the north, and all night we were just shooting, and
Like a 48-hour
stuff
thing
like
you
that.
guys did?
Kind of, I
Kind of
actually
like that.
did 48 hours last year, and it was pretty
It's
cool.
intense,
It
but it's
was
fun, right?
Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
How
Yeah.
real quick, like where do you draw the inspiration to create something on the fly? You just let's put this together. You know what I mean? Like, is it improvised? I guess is the right
Uh,
question.
there's always space for improvisation, but I believe
Yeah.
that starts out with some like spark, some idea that you have like
Okay.
already,
Okay. Like
because and then
a core idea,
yeah,
and then you work around it. Okay.
exactly, exactly. Like what you watch the movie and there's like a little idea that you had, and just write it
Okay.
down, and from there you build something else. And
Got it.
also the good part of sharing that with friends is that they have another ideas from there, and if you
Do
work
you
well together, it combines
it's
perfectly.
it's a well-oiled machine then. But do you
Yeah,
write some of this stuff you're saying? Do you write it as a small now when
yeah.
you say a short film, right quick, how long are we shooting this? And when the editing happens, the post-production, how long, what's the I mean, is it like a short film could be short, long, 30 minutes, but short
Yeah.
film could be 10 minutes,
Right. In,
five. I mean, how long are we talking?
in this case was 5 minutes.
Okay.
But for the 48 hours festival, we did it for 7 minutes. And I mean, my God, it was like I was just shooting one day, but people that shot the 2 days were just
It's
so
brutal,
tired.
man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's worth it at the end. The
It's
results
fun.
were awesome. And the movie ended up being in a lot of festivals. It got second place on the 48 hours.
I saw that. I
Um,
saw the different stuff, like all the accolades and stuff. It's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
called Picture
man.
Break, and
Yeah.
and it was really really great experience, really really. And so I love that kind of stuff, just
Yeah.
to go out there and try out something. So like you asked, um, coming back to your question, it really is a great opportunity now for people that are not getting stuff and just imagining these possibilities. Now you can actually do it on your phone. There are, great cell phones that can really shoot great
Yeah,
stuff, and put it out there. There are festivals out there that can receive it. I mean, not saying that okay, from there you're gonna get everything done for you and it's
springboard up
gonna
there, but
work out, but it's great to have something to hold on, and that creativity will help you to
to
shape your
shine.
performances in the future and who
It's
you
like going
are
to the
as
gym too, right? It gets you prepared
really,
for the
yeah,
big time. And some of these things, you never know where they're gonna go. Like you said, you could get discovered by something there
oh
that
yeah,
they liked, you know?
absolutely.
Um, it's been a pleasure, brother. I know it's late, you gotta go to bed, or you're gonna start your writing. Maybe something we talked about might ignite something great. Let me know.
Oh,
I want the
probably.
grade on IMDb. I'm kidding. Anthony Sosa, ladies and gentlemen, Almost Famous Radio Podcast. What are your social media handles, sir?
So Instagram is Antony Sousa 10 the number. I have also the YouTube channel, but it's mostly just to show my show reels. So on Instagram,
Okay.
you can see the links there on my bio. Facebook is Antony Sousa 10 as well. And yeah, that's it. I'm on Intalenta as well for any agents or
Oh, absolutely.
uh, and I'm working on my IMDb Pro, and I was on Spotlight. I'm figuring if I'm gonna go back there or not.
Did a lot of cool stuff, dude. I am beyond grateful for this opportunity, this
Thank you so
exchange
much.
of chopping it up here is really cool. I just wanted to say all the best to you. Definitely let's keep in touch. Whatever you want
Yeah,
me to promote, I'll help gladly. And when you come out to LA, look me up. We'll hang out.
absolutely.
Anybody I know, I can introduce you. I'll make that introduction possible. Okay.
Perfect. Thank
That's
you,
and
man.
then make sure you email me your YouTube so I can we can add each other.
Oh,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
until next time, that's my show. Hello and goodbye. Until we meet again, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. I'll have this out soon. Take care. Bye, Anthony. And say
Thank you
hi to
so much. Bye,
Marianne
man.
for me. Say hi,
I
Marianne
do.
and
I
Paula. All
will.
right, bye.